question is, the last board paid for the renovation of this room.
Mm-hmm.
The last board paid for every social meeting for the food,
Mm-hmm.
what this board is not paying for.
Correct.
And what is different to the last?
Okay, so not only last year, but also 3 years ago, we held the Catalina 22 Nationals here. So we kept those out of the numbers that we had up there because they're kind of an outside event. They were extremely big money makers for the club. They're not normal. We don't often throw national events. I can tell you the Mutineers, no offense Chad, did not make that kind of money. But I want to say last year we made about $10,000. And so we had, at the end of the year, we actually ended up with a net income of about $10,000 for the year overall for the club. But all of that was related to that Catalina 22 Nationals event. With that, we went ahead and took $5,300 of that and moved it into the capital fund reserve for the club. The difference of that was used for various projects like redoing this club room and things that they did at year end. And they did have overall expenses and overage on their expenses based to budget. So, yeah.
I think the club has had generally a booth at Main Street Days, is that correct?
It is, and I actually made that call today because we haven't planned early enough to get the booths. So.
Well, has anybody looked into doing like farther, like upwards?
We have it for Main Street.
Like Dallas too, because there's plenty of people in the Metroplex.
So are you signing up for the board position for promotional?
I think Scott just volunteered.
I second.
So let me go back and talk about that. So unfortunately, similar to the national events, things like that do require prior year planning. So our national events, like U.S. Sailing, you do have to apply to win a national event sponsorship the year prior to. So I have gone out to the city of Grapevine and gotten on and tried to get a booth, which we couldn't get last year at Main Street Days or Grape Fest. I've already made a request that we can actually be on the list for next year. So sorry, whoever's first year or next year, you're going to be suckered into that. But I'd be glad to do that as well. And we have been talking as a board whether we wanted to step up with U.S. Sailing and commit next year's board to a nationals event. It's kind of unfair to do, but it is good for the club. So there is a potential that we'll try and step up and offer to do that next year. Yes, Joe?
There was a fee too for the Grapevine Main Street Days, and we
Correct.
didn't fit the fee because we were at one last year or whatever. I think we were set up to go, and we didn't fit the fee.
Yeah, it was like Italian food. They wanted
Yeah,
to
last year,
Yeah.
Now at the last minute, we did get them to commit to giving us a booth, but they wanted to charge us $5,000 for the booth. And I will tell you, based on our numbers this year, I think we had about $1,300 worth of profit budgeted for this board. Yeah, we just thought that was a bad idea.
We bring our own water.
I said we bring our own boats. That's what we've done the previous years. We actually put the boats out, the opties with the sails and all kinds of stuff, and they still wouldn't let us come for a cheap price. Wow. Yep. And
Judy,
Eric,
what's the fee going to be for the Sail Away program?
the fee is going to go from $375 to $425 to participate in the Sail Away program.
So why are we showing a $4,000 drop in the revenue then?
For that, we are just, as we did this year and as we've done in prior years, we go ahead and look to 2013 at a conservative number and always hoping that we can exceed that. So we do under budget and then hopefully it's a conservative way to forecast. So we did budget that. That has 45 members instead of 59.
Give me a beer.
Because of the dues increase and other things that we're making a change to.
Yeah,
So-
but with that conservatism, then you're showing about a $4,000 just in that category drop in revenue when you're saying you have people in the.
Well, from my standpoint, I'm actually not looking at 2013 at all. We're actually looking at this year right now. We are covering the additional expense that we're planning and holding the margin the same for the actual net income at the end of the year for the program. So while the numbers change, for example, this year on the seminar, we budgeted that we'd have, I think, 65 people there. We ended up with 48. So we ended up over budgeting this year and underperforming. To me, it's better, especially, and you know this, when you present to the membership, you want to present an achievable number and exceed that if you can. So that's our goal. So, and some of those are variable expenses too, so the variable expenses would change if you had a lower membership number.
You're also assuming that as a result of the increase, the participant
Correct. As I've heard from people, some in this room, there are a lot of people that aren't happy with that, so there may be potentially a membership.
A lot of people are happy now.
You used the word, when we were talking about sail away, you were talking about, you used the word margin. You had to create a proper margin. Right now, for everyone's information, the margin is about $10,000.
We are looking at
Meaning
$10,000
that
this year.
after Sail Away pays for their slip fees, after Sail Away puts about $6,000 a year into the boats, that includes a rotating bottom job to keep the boats in tip-top shape so that they're in good shape for the club, and different projects that the Sail Away members go out and do to the boats. Terry and I just completed one where we put some inside tracks onto one of the Catalinas to make it a better sailing boat, to give the Sail Away people a better experience, and also to give Terry and I a better experience.
Let's
But
be
the other experience we picked up there was we also got to do the work on the boats ourselves, which is a plus. But getting back to this margin thing, I think what's happened with Sail Away initially was, and I've been with Sail Away all the way, I was kind of scanning people in the room to see how many people I could remember being here 9 years ago, 87. When we first started Sail Away, the battle cry was, Sail Away's gonna lose a lot of money if we're gonna get stuck holding the bag. Now, we've turned the table, because when we started Sail Away, we were penny pinchers, and we're still penny pinchers. We don't go out and buy anything. But my only point is that this is definitely something that's making a profit. But I don't think that the people in the club, your fellow club members that are making a profit, should be taxed additionally for this work that they've been doing on the boats gladly, because it's fun. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but I like sailing. It's a lot of fun. I like working on boats. It's a lot of fun. I can enjoy coming down here and just watching it rain. It's a lot of fun, just to be around the boats. But anyway, where I'm leading with this thing is not what it cost me. What I'm leading to on this thing is, if we're going to increase anything, I believe that it should be the dues of the club, and I will happily pay it.
Well, we're gonna pay it.
I agree.
I don't see why
Well, we're gonna
the
pay
Sail
it.
Away group has to be
Little
burdened
enough.
with this. Julie made the
Everybody has to.
point that the
$25.
banquet was one of our most well-attended events. The banquet usually attracts in the vicinity of 100 people. 100 people, I believe, only represents 60 memberships in the club. That happens to be the same number of memberships that we have in Sail Away. So with this $5,000 that we go in the hole every year for the banquet, we're gonna let the Sail Away members pay for it. I like the banquet. I went to the banquet. I just assumed see it come out of our dues. And my question to you would be, though, we talked about this dues increase. Everybody was concerned, you were, when our Sail Away dues were going to increase. It was my understanding, after reading the board minutes, that they were going to increase this month in September.
And I didn't remember that when we talked, and to be honest, I
Well-
still haven't gone back and gotten a date on that, so.
I know, but, you know,
As I said,
everything
we do
can't be
not
on
issue it, so
Facebook or Twitter or whatever.
It's actually with
Sometimes
Joe.
it has to be in here. I'm sorry, I'm just an old, okay, everybody got the word. There we go.
So,
Well,
I'll go
everybody's
back to-
But anyway, the
I'll-
question that I was leading to was, when will the dues increase for the membership?
It will go up into
As a
20
member, I'm
yeah.
in a membership too, by the
I'm-
way. That was a big problem
Every
with
Sail
Sail
Away
Away
person is a
initially.
member.
We
Yeah,
had
of the
Sail
club.
Away people.
So
Also, a big
2013,
part of it was that you buy a boat someday too, so.
2013 is the date. So on November 1st, all dues notices go out for all GSC members. So our vote will be at the October meeting. You can vote over email and have choose to submit. Based on the bylaws, it's 2/3 of the membership have to agree in order to raise the dues, in order to get the dues to increase. We will mail out at the new rates, whatever is voted in at the October meeting, and you guys will know the decision of it at that meeting. So one way or the other. So, and just to your
I didn't
note, let me
understand
go
that.
back, yeah, let me go back and explain, it's all in the bylaws, so you can go read the section in the bylaws in the directory that talks about, about membership dues notices being mailed out and the timing of that. I will say that the club goes through its phases. Historically, we had a division